Good afternoon, and welcome into the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. On the onset, just looking at it, you might be like, what's going on with Tom's title? Is MIA XRP's at 56 cents, so we're down, we corrected 4%. We're still within a formation. Bitcoin's doing great, over 6%, over 3,400. But what you see in front of you is not what meets the table. What you see in front of you is not what meets the eye. It's a very simple reason why I always say when the market manipulators are out to strike a leverage position from 5x up, you always have to be very, very careful. And it's why I don't promote it. I don't like it. But at the same time, I look at this from even a spot position and had somebody have bought in at that 6-0, like XRP will go through it. We broke out of a technical range. We had a technical target of about 61.1 cents for that next layer up. It came just above the pivot point. Everything seemingly was going to the retest area. And then all of a sudden, within a 30-minute period, we had not even, probably a 5 to 10-minute candle. We had a 13% reversal just for it to now bounce back up. But now everybody who was likely leverage trading, whether you were going long or short today, you have probably been liquidated. And that's the shame of the game here. You could have done everything right. And why spot to me will always be king. Because at least you know during the volatility you can buy more. You can add to your spot position, but it's there for you. Right now our spot position is still there. We bought in at 346, and yeah, it was nice when it was at 60 cents, and yeah, it lost us $300 to $400 on the drop. But the point is we're not liquidated out of our spot holdings. So today, to me, it's a perfect example of market manipulation, especially with an XRP. We can talk about the rest of the market, that's fine. But we can talk about XRP to a bigger extent. Like Doge is up 10%, so it had a big 10 to 12% correction, but it was up 22% before that drop. Many of these tokens corrected back down to pretty much even, except for XLM. XDC is, again, remember yesterday the better value to buy? That's why I was saying it. It was just in a better range, and even with that big drop, it's still up another 1.61%. But XRP in particular, I think we need to take a serious look and ask ourselves, what the hell is really going on? Remember how we talked about the 400 million XRP that Ripple mysteriously offloaded before the escrow a couple days ago? And we're like, well, what's going on here? Did they intentionally just manipulate the price down again? Because to me, I'm seeing a pattern here with Ripple. Convenient unlocks from escrow, right with volatile price swings to the top side. What it appears to be an attempt to keep it to act as a stable coin. And yeah, it might be okay because it's easier to accumulate a position, but I'm telling you, at a certain point, the typical retail traders, not us in the community, because we understand what's going on. We don't let a single motion, sway us. But at the same time, it's days like today where you look and you're like, well, of course, XRP over the last 10 days is up about 12%, has a 13% wick. Wipes out everybody who is buying in at any level, gets the longs and shorts, garners the liquidity, and asks you for what? For what? For what is the intention today? Is the intention now that Bitcoin is going to hold 60,000 and at a almost 4,000, over 4,000 point drop? I know it's crazy to think, but Bitcoin went from about 64,000 and some change to just under 60,000. It actually hit for a second.
Stuff's gonna be here in 6 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Julie. So it makes you wonder what is actually going on within the price action. And as an XRP holder, does this deter you? I want to know, seeing this happen, because I already know what the comments are like. Well, maybe not in the live yet, but I know what the public opinion is once this happens. And to me, it's understandable. But it also is another reason why I think they do the out of all the coins or tokens that I am invested in, this is the single most token that I see on a daily basis. When the price is meant to go somewhere, you see these mysterious transfers from Ripple and some of the bigger whales at convenient times just days before a move up. And then seemingly during the move itself, it's like And then it's like, okay, well, we're down 3.8%, but it doesn't tell the story. Because you had a candle that legitimately went all the way down. And this is going to probably turn out to work in our favor for liquidity purposes. But we came all the way down, and this is why I think this pattern has credence. Remember the November of 2021 pattern we just started talking about, and I said, I think we have to start playing off of this one. If this holds the support, that November formation called this perfectly at 52 cents. And the worst part about this is look how we broke up the technical target out of this structure that formed yesterday. And we'll timestamp this, and I'll go through the comments, but it's just, when you look at this as a whole, it's just typical, to me, it's the most blatant form of manipulation when you start to see how they do this, and then what ends up happening after, because this very well is going to continue up in the up direction after this little volatility continues. But what it did now is it got rid of a whole segment of traders. I kid you not, on a spot trader, if you bought in at 58, 60 cents and we're like, all right, we're going up, are you holding through a 13% drop if you just bought today? Forget the leverage traders. If you just bought today, are you holding through a 13.5% drop? And I'll be fascinated to see how many people are here, because I have not even looked to see the comments, haven't looked to see how many people are here. But there was just a few things that I really needed to get off my chest this morning, or this early afternoon, because it's becoming blatantly obvious to me as an XRP holder over the years now. Although we've done rather well because we were able to get out in 21. But now it's becoming to me, look at this. Bitcoin has all-time highs in its sights. And I'll be damned if Bitcoin doesn't hit 69,000. It went to 64. And just like in the run-up in 21, it would have those big consolidation moments of 4,000 or 5,000 and just go right back up. This is what it looks like is happening. It needed liquidity. But we'll take a further look. But the Bitcoin halving is happening in April. Is it any coincidence that the bull market ended? The tops were forming in April of 21. Now, 3 years later, we have that event happening in April of 21, and Bitcoin's running to an all-time high. Remember how things dropped 50% from there? So I'm really looking at the fact now, are we going to have a historic crash once Bitcoin gets to that April point, and we're still going to have a market run-up? To me, this does nothing more than likely materialize into something that couldn't have happened without the liquidity grab. Because if you look at this within 2 to 3 candles here, we might come right back up into that formation. And then it's whatever. I mean, look at that, though. Look at the volatility there, though. And look how many people probably got. I actually look at the spot traders that probably got out after getting into XRP for the first time. You know, and it's not just XRP, but it happens to be in the moment. Because I can go across the board how a lot of these, a lot of different tokens ended up having different price swings. I got to go grab my water real quick. Sorry. And I got to grab Julie something. This will take me here you go, Julie. All right. Sorry about that. So, but it makes you wonder now about anybody who was thinking about buying spot or anybody in those predicaments. So let me timestamp this, and then I'm going to get into the comments. And then we got to get into this because we got a lot to talk about, because I put in "we failed" in the comment or in the title. It's not necessarily that we failed the grand term, but we failed in terms of, you know, I don't think there's a debate anymore about the manipulation, about the timing of not just Ripple offloading certain amounts and the amount that they did as well. It just seems untimely now. Or not untimely, it just seems too coincidental to me. This is becoming too coincidental to me. And I love XRP, and I'm a holder of XRP, but some things are just... But the whale's definitely loaded up at 52 cents, so that's what I'm saying. There's definitely the alternative here. So let me get into this. Good early afternoon, 1:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. We should have expected this, as this is normally the end of February, but damn that leap year if it doesn't bite us in the ass again. You know, it would have been the end of February. We would have said, all right, we have to expect a big drop. My mind, I'm anticipating this to happen tomorrow. And I'm thinking we would at least retest 60-cent pivot point like we talked about, and then we would see how we were there, bullish or bearish. I was not anticipating a drop to 52. I was anticipating if we had a correction, maybe retested. Although, you know, we should have known We should have known when we pulled out this November of 2021 formation, and we were like, all right, if we got on top of July 23, what's the next area? And the bottom line is, you know, maybe we should have come on earlier during the run up, but I just did an update. But we got out of not just the January of 24 formation. As you can see now, the crazy thing is here, what is this doing? It didn't even come through this formation, so we still are in a breakout. That's what I'm saying. We didn't lose the breakout, but we failed the rally. We failed to materialize a rally. I mean, that's the January of 24, so we haven't even broke the structure yet. We come down farther, we'll get back into that pattern, and if you're new, you have to pay attention to this. This is the July of 23 formation, so once we got above here, we could have started to say, just like we did with the January formation of 24, we moved into here. We found our support, and we said, if it gets rejected here, it'll come back to the uptrending support, and it wicks, whatever. And look, now it's bouncing within that. So this formation isn't even, nothing broke. The only thing that broke were some of the newer investors or leverage traders. The spot traders are the ones who got hammered if they just got in, though. Let's be honest. If somebody just got in at 60 cents, 58 cents, and then they sold out on the drop to 52 at like 50, and now they're just seeing it come back, it has a way of hampering a trader. And I've seen it time and time again, and now that the public perception is going to get worse and worse and worse. So if you are watching, make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this video. There's 188 people in here. Wow. We're going to go through the comments, and then we got to go into all of this. So we have a lot to talk about. Avi says, Coinbase account went to zero. Massive manipulation going on right now. Scary. Yes, indeed. Your account went to zero. Holy Coinbase. That's interesting. Somebody else said, Martin, it might not have helped that Coinbase has crashed. Everyone's balances have zeroed out. Is that still going on Coinbase? Holy crap. Did you hear that, Julie? On Coinbase. That is very spooky, Julie says. As I say as well. Messi, welcome in. Mark. Matt Holden and Rob, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for 5 months with the XRP Meteor. Crypto Scrooge, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years. Make sure you guys watch Crypto Scrooge. He's over on YouTube as well, and he does a fantastic job. Building up to almost 1,000 subscribers now. So, but on as far as the trade though, I'm gonna pin it in my comments because in the USA, I've been trading on BITUNIX, and they haven't gone down. Nothing's changed. I shared it in here before, but I need to share it in here again. Let me just grab this real quick. Because I see a lot of comments about what's going on, and I'm just going to share what I trade. And I try to all the time, but I'll pin it in here. I just got to take a second. So then we'll continue going through the comments. But with XRP, we are still within, just remember, we're still within the July of, this is the crazy thing. We're still within the July of 2023 formation. So the fact we came down and retested that uptrending support, all it shows is we got rejected right now in the ascending formation, and we're still in the consolidation. The problem with this is, I'm going to go through chat, and I'm curious, how many people that are watching me bought XRP somewhere between 56 and 60 cents, and then they sold out on the drop down under where they bought it, and now somehow it's bouncing back up. Or you bought it, and sometime between that 13% drop, you sold out just to see it's only down 3% now. I want to know how many people that this exactly impacted from a spot, a stock, or even if from any perspective, but from the spot buyers, I want to know. Because there's a lot of people who ask me, why don't you accumulate over where you bought in? For reasons like this. It just, to me, there's too much manipulation. And unless it's below 20% where I bought my tokens, where I'm satisfied with my holdings, I'm just not going to, no matter what. I'm not expanding my holdings. I made big mistakes in leverage trading. Hell, I've had Bagelgate, Julie knows. I had a leverage trade not too long ago where I was doing fantastic on it, and I walked away for Bagelgate. I had a bagel, and in that 5 minutes, it was enough for my liquidation to hit. So that's why I speak so negatively against leverage trading. I've had experiences myself. It happens. Even if you think you're doing everything right. That's why I will continue to condone. And don't let it go to your head because we had a good trade yesterday. That's why I don't like to share it, because had it been that same circumstance today and we're all in the air, it would have went the other way. So that's BITUNIX there on the top. That's BITUNIX there on the top. So if you are trying to buy XRP in the USA, spot or leverage, God forbid, God rest your soul sometimes, that's a good way to do it. They've never not sold XRP and it stays up. It stays up the entire time. Brandon almost did get liquidated. Nice. But you still in, so I like to hear that. Yeah, Sean, holy liquidation indeed, Sean Crothers. Welcome in, my friend Jorge. Jose, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. There were so many comments when I got on here. Coinbase is just a glitch. Yeah, I knew the funds were there. It's just hearing everybody say that was crazy. Jerry Clark, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Matt Holden, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army with Rob Holkaluk for over 5 months with the XRP Meteor. Doing the best I can, but there are so many comments. UK Phil, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 months now with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Red says, I never sold. Good for you. Some people said, hell no, holding, bought more. That's the right attitude when you have liquidity style events. AJ Edwards says, sick of XRP. So sick of XRP. That's the mindset that I'm looking for in here. Only because you can see public perception. Gianni says, not me. Jorge says, never sell. My son got an email saying it was some type of bug. I'm going to have him forward me the email. That's a good idea, Prawn. I'd like to know what that says, Prawnson, as well. That's interesting. Marie, welcome in. And Marie says, Coinbase is working now. Gianni says, no emotion, bro. Exactly. That's how you have to approach this. So I do welcome everybody in here. Make sure that like button so YouTube will recommend this video. Renee, welcome in. Thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Jeff, AJ Edwards, welcome in. AJ says he is so sick of XRP. RC Kruger, welcome in. Mark Caston, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I greatly appreciate that. All coin pump, but XRP drop in Cardano. Yes, it seems like XRP, well, XLM as well. You can throw it into the bunch. But at least if somebody was here yesterday, a few people asked me about the spot position. And I said I'd buy XDC out of everything as far as XRP, XLM, and XDC, just because it seemed like it was in a better spot to, have a opportune moment. Even though now the risk here is now with the XRP. Yeah, we've held it right now. We've held it right now, but let's get into the nuts and bolts now. What the hell happened? Right, what happened? So, if you go into the very short time frame here, in the 5 minute, you can see very little volume was coming in, and then all of a sudden, in the 5 minute, this is just on BITUNIX, and this is a lower volume one. BITUNIX had a 1.45 million candle. Well, if you look at the ones before it, was like 144,000. If you go to an exchange that has a little more volatility, like, Binance. Binance had a candle of 3.81 million in the 5 minute. To put in perspective, just even on the rally up, you're getting 660,000, 300, 500. So it was a quick candle. And now it looks like, as it typically does after a liquidity style event, and some are like me, it looks even, I'm almost more bullish now. But if this does form, this could absolutely be like a bull flag setup, and then it pulls up and retests the exact area it dropped from, which is the exact part where it might not have been this initial drop that keeps everybody out. But think of it from a standpoint of somebody who just got in, maybe a leverage trader, a spot trader that might just be new to the market or just started accumulating in the last couple days. They see it go down from 60 cents to 52. You got massive liquidity, and probably in the billions right now that happened there. Maybe billions, maybe high hundreds of millions. But you get it to go down to 52 cents. Just to see it in an hour or two go right back up and continue the rally. That's where crypto, and particularly XRP in itself, rubs people the wrong way that aren't used to it. If you're a holder of XRP, you're used to this until you get that 400% rally. Then you most likely, in most rallies, will tout to kick rocks until the next cycle. That's what we did in 21. 47 cents to $1.66. Didn't hit the top of the $1.98. Then we said XRP kick rocks, so you come back down to the formation uptrend. Because we had all-time highs in 2018 in January. Converts for 24 months, or 27 months down to the March of 2020 uptrending support at just over 10 cents. So we went from just over $2.50 to just over 10 cents. And then when the lawsuit was announced, we had went up to 71 cents approximately in about November of 2020. Lawsuits announced December of 2020. It dropped back to about 12 cents. Proceeds to bounce off of that newly formed uptrend that it's now held two separate volatile swings. And then it proceeds to go up to $1.98 in 2022. So with that being said, you know, there's a lot of things that have happened to that point. Now you fast forward a little bit here. Wow, 263 people in here. Please make sure to hit that like button. Only 108 likes. If you appreciate my content and you want to see this community grow, you must hit that like button. We're not even hitting 50%, but that will help YouTube recommend this live. It really will. Renee, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Call me crazy, but the IRS just paid the first wave of income tax today. Could it be... Ooh, I like this. I like this theory. Could it be correlated with the sell-off of XRP from 61 cents to 53? Not a conspiracy theorist, just thinking out loud. You know, and thank you for the $20 donation, Renee. I greatly appreciate that. Would anything surprise me at this point? No. And is it a scenario that I like? I absolutely do. And for another reason I like that scenario, Renee, that's now thinking outside the box. I like that scenario because not too long ago, they passed a bill to where they can trade crypto and stock and also futures. They can trade the government bonds, the futures, the stock market, commodities, and crypto, and they don't have to pay taxes on their gains. Yep. So, honestly, I don't think that's far-fetched. That's probably not far-fetched. I mean, I didn't even think about that, but think of how much money they just made from a move like we just had the last several days. And then to be able to rebuy back in potentially, understanding what was about to happen, because look at this. So anyhow, let's continue this. So we converged. So then we continued on. 2021, we sold out in April. Then we dropped all the way down to the uptrending support in 2022, which was at 28.6 cents. The same uptrending support that held through the all-time high down to the converging low in 2020 in March. Then it went up to the second resistance in 2021 at $1.98. Hit this another support for the third time on the uptrend in 22. 23, it hit it again at 34 cents approximately. And now we're speculating that we need to come up to 75 cents to hit that downtrending resistance for a third time and validate this pattern needs more consolidation. And this consolidation would end in December of 2024. If it gets rejected there, you know, before we get there, that's the speculation. Now, if it breaks out, that would bring a whole new opportunity if we were to break out. But now we're firmly stuck. So I say all of that for the fact that it seems we have a stopgap here. We made it through several different formations. The January of 24, the July of 2023, which we back tested both on this, you know, and back into the consolidation on the 23. But does that mean, from a speculative standpoint, that this pattern from November of 24 or 21, and the reason why I like to have a lot of different formations so that we can see what's happening, that's the rising channel resistance, where it appears we're trying to make our way up there. And in the grand scheme of things, in the daily right now, I mean, depending on where it closes, this is really not a burger. If it closes at 57 cents, then everybody's going to look at it and say, okay, we had a hold candle. Big deal. And look at the volume. Look at the volume. If you looked at this as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up higher than we were during the drop. You know, just with manipulation. But the volume, 25.4, 45, 49, volume's supposed to predict price. See what happens within manipulation? You can see everything in front of you, but at the same time, how are you supposed to predict that? True knows better than anybody. This is why we preach spot a lot in this community. Try to give advice on leverage, But there's a reason why accumulating through spot is king. Do you know how many people lost their entire crypto holdings just now? No, I mean, seriously. A lot of people will mortgage their future. Let's say they own 10,000 XRP. They will take it out of spot and put it in to, they'll put it into leverage. And then they get a liquidity candle, and then they're like, uh-oh, I just lost it all. I'm long 50,000 XRP at 20x. Wait a minute, 50,000 XRP. Oh, so you must have took out something during that great fall. You must have found something on the fall. I mean, I know you know what you're doing, but man, at least so you're kind of seeing what's building up. You see what's building up. Oh yeah, true. The spot positions are definitely they're definitely king right now. I'm not going to lie. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this to more people. I think hearing a fresh perspective if you haven't been in here before, and not just something where I bend over for XRP, because that's not going to happen. I like to go with the rotation. I like to speak the truth about the charts and to see how we got to where we're going. So now as we continue on, I was talking about the all-time chart, and if you're new, you're going to have to see at least a visual of it, just so you're like, well, I hear the guy talking, but I have no idea what it looks like. So, sorry, there's so many comments, it makes it hard to see the charts I'm trying to get to. So that's the November, that's the November chart. Here we go. So this is the all-time chart. So if you're new and you haven't seen this before, this is what I was talking about. All-time highs up here. January of 2018. We converged all the way down March of 2020 right in here. And that's about just over 10 cents. Came back up. Lawsuit was announced. Boom. Right? It came right down here when it was announced. I mean, that was up here and then it got announced and it ended up here. Then we had the rally in 21, came back down in 22, 23 and bounced. Now it's like, where do we hit a third time? So we're speculating around 75 cents down here in the back end of this pattern if you follow the arrow. Somewhere around here we're speculating, but that could even be 70 cents. But now it looks like it's trying to get up in there. If we were to come down, everybody's just, I think it's over emotional too, who doesn't understand the XRP chart, that we're in a 6-year consolidation. That XRP technically is not even failing if it came all the way up here to the uptrending support at 38.9 cents. That's why I keep saying I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to buy more XRP because my average price is 346 on this bear market when we came down. I'm not buying no more unless it comes down 20% below. Well, if it never comes below this uptrending support, even on a bearish drop, that still doesn't get it below 38 cents. So it's not even down to my buy-in, so I can't buy more. Some people might be very happy if that happens. So keeping it in perspective, this has to keep going. Now, I don't know about anybody else here, but True, The Great Fall, and a few of you others in here, does that look like an inverted hammer candles forming here? Or is this disguised? Like, is this supposed to be tricking people into a gravestone, even though that's more than likely an inverted hammer? Because if that's the case in the weekly, that's some incredible pressure being built right there. Hold on, I'm going to grab my water. And don't hesitate. If you think that we've had a magnificent pullback here and you were speculating on getting an XRP at 60 cents and now you see XRP at just at 56.3 cents, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. If you're in the USA and you don't know how to buy XRP, look at the pinned comment. That's BITUNIX. You don't even need to do a VPN or KYC to trade on their platform in the USA. So take advantage of these moments. That's all I can say. Take advantage of these moments. Because it's a lot better getting in at 56.4 if you haven't got in yet than it is at 60.6 cents. Some people might have bought in at 52, 53 now from the drop. But this is what I mean looking at it as a grand scale, though. Let's look at it from a point of manipulation, though. So if we go across the board, we know a few things to be true. ZIL to start. It was up about 10 to 11% today, dropped down, and never lost any gains. You've had, as we go up here, V-Chain's down 3.23%, but we know V-Chain's up well over 200% from our buying at 1.6. So it's already had moves. It even had about a 30% move a few days ago, as a matter of fact, and it's been consolidating. So this is standard operating procedure. Casper's just been up and down consolidation. That's on the other page. XDC, it had a movement up today, and then it absorbed the drop down today. So it's doing what you would expect out of an asset that's in a rally. DGB had a better than 30% move a couple days ago, so it's consolidating. So this is what you would expect. XLM, on the other hand, with XRP, they've not made a move. And every time they make a move, and XRP was a 13% consolidation, well, we'll take exactly the look, but we're not going to just hang out XLM to dry, but it kind of follows, and it proves the point that XLM will follow XRP's lead. So this had a 10% drop from the top. So, but let's go to XRP. It's been building, and all of a sudden it's down 3.95%. And it just, from an integrity standpoint, this is how they do it. It breaks out of a structure, and look, it's basically at the technical target, just a little shy, but it broke out of this formation when we consolidated. So when it broke up, it was telling us our technical target was around 61.1 cents. Doesn't quite come there. Looks good on 2 consecutive candles. And then before you know it, not even in the next hour, it went from this looks bullish, is feeling bullish. Let's see how we retest here. Comes right through it all. And now it's working its way back up. Now, it's like some people would say, well, Tom, isn't that a big bear flag now? And I would say, well, one would think that. But under the beautiful terms of price manipulation with XRP, who does it the finest, isn't it just ironic now? Doesn't that kind of look like a bull flag formed? I'm just asking. And it's like, this is what I see. So, and I always say I'm at my best when it's going down, not just up, because I know it's easy to come on when things are going up. Trust me, it's much easier to come on and talk when everything's pumping. Many people, even if they're live, will shut it off when it starts going down. They won't even show up as an influencer. It's our duty to show up in the worst of times, like today. Did I think this was going to happen? Not 12 or 13%. I could have seen a 5 or 6%, but 13? Not today. But it shows us we should have seen it. And I only say that because the moment we got above the July, remember we got above the January of 2024 pattern and the July of 2023 formation, we started saying how now we have to acknowledge the uptrend, even though technically, it still has to back test the other formation. We should have been saying the same thing here on a drop on the November of 21 formation. Now that the July 23, once it broke through, we should have been saying, okay, well now it opens up this uptrend at 52.2 cents. Had we have at least had the wherewithal to do that, we could have called this even quicker. Because now with this fake out, if it holds this uptrend, what we don't realize here that doesn't meet the eye is if this uptrending support is validated now, and now it needs to go back to the top of this formation, that move just intensified, and maybe that's how we get up to 80 cents now. That's a 55% move from the bottom. Maybe that is how we got that added liquidity to make the bigger bounce out. So that's just one part of speculation here that we could have. One part of speculation. The other part is what I started with. There's no coincidence here to me that Ripple, took out 400 million XRP out of escrow, and then this happens on the run-up. It's always too convenient to me when that happens. So, in terms of manipulation, interesting. Now, what we haven't talked about yet is Bitcoin, and please make sure you hit that like button. 266 people watching, 178 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this video. That doesn't only allow new people to find this community. If you're watching right now and you hit the like button, when YouTube puts out my update and they recommend the video, for some it doesn't show up in their algorithm. If you hit the like button, it'll start showing up in not just your algorithm, but maybe another person in the community through their feed, and they can find their way back home. We need to continue to grow this community because we're one of the few that speaks the truth, and we openly put our portfolio out in the open. So, and I like to come in here and take my lumps as well as take my praise. So, and in the daily rotation, this is why we're in the accumulation phase. But these are the days that hurt, because Bitcoin on the onset, you'd be like, holy crap. Bitcoin's up 3,800 points and 6.7%, and it's pushing 61,000. What the heck's going on? And then you see, and again with Bitcoin, it needed liquidity. And one, there's two conclusions we can make here. One, we didn't get the sell pressure that overtook the buyers. But look at this candle real quickly, and then we'll go. We went from a swing high around 64,200, and Bitcoin dropped down to about 58,270. 58,270. So within that time, though, Bitcoin garnered a lot of liquidity. Look how much it bounced back up. It's got a little bit of room here now to bounce. And now it's going to be that same thing. When it gets to that 50 area in the short time, can the buyers hold? If the buyers hold, Bitcoin's rally, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on the way you look at it, if you got hammered now because of this, and now you're done trading forever, one would think it could have been a bear flag. Or is it a bull flag now? Is this going to start playing out now where it starts to rally back up? Like, this is where it really does sway public opinion. Remember that first move was 61,300 we targeted. It's you acting as a pivot point. Did this come up to a head formation? That we don't know. We don't know. What we do know is the broadening wedge technical target was at 66,252 on a breakout. We did not even come close to that yet. I know it came to 64, but 64 is not 66.2. So I guess we met in the middle. So, yes, I agree with that. Somebody said, and I'll see who that was in a sec. Ripple says, Ripple keeps dumping on the market to manipulate the price of XRP. I agree. Sean says, agreed, Tom. I've been accumulating for a long time. Yesterday, I need to see what that says real quick. And then I want to continue on. Sean's been around for a long time. Yesterday, I bought 4,000 at 53, hopefully my last. But I would buy more if it came back down. XRP under $1 is a good value deal. I agree, Sean. I agree. That's why we take every moment with, we try not to have the emotion attached to it. But at the same time, I understand what a lot of people are thinking. I'm not blind to what most think. I have the same thoughts. Like today when I'm sitting there and I guarantee somebody looked and said, hey, Doge is up 21%. It looks like XRP is about to have that same move. And not an hour later, XRP has a 13% drop. And yeah, it doesn't look that bad on the surface. 3.29%. We're like, all right, whatever. 56.6 cents. It's just the rotation that Bitcoin just did. XRP had all the ability right there to go to 66.6 cents to get that rejection. Oh no, I'm not saying it's Ripple themselves. No. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not saying Ripple's dumping it, but some entity within is using that as an opportune moment. I don't think it's Brad Garlinghouse or David Schwartz or any of those guys doing it, or Ripple Labs. I think it's something more that we don't know about. Maybe like the Great Falling said, the entity, like Ripple's partners do the dumping. Maybe that's what it is. Or the government. Yeah, Renee. Rena, the government, like someone's, like, yeah, like has been said about the XRP, how the tax season's coming up now. If XRP, I also think this is a big example of how it's a stable coin. Look how long we can stay in the same area of movement. And how long. I think there's something more than meets the eye. So it sucks when things like this happen. And it seems like you're back at square one, but you're not. We're still in the accumulation phase. Nothing's changed except some people's public opinion. The bottom line is, from the time we were on yesterday to now, we're down a cent. That's it. It did peak at like 59, but when we first came on, it was at about this price. Showstopper, thank you so much for the $4.99 donation. I greatly appreciate that. your 5th YouTube super chat sent during the live. If you do appreciate what I do, the absorbent amount of time I put in, and the mental stress I am put through doing this, as Julie knows, not that it's a bad thing by no means, like Bagelgate. See, Julie laughed because she knows what I'm talking about. But consider sending one time per month a YouTube super chat. As the month is coming to a close tomorrow, I know it's not today, ladies and gentlemen, it is a leap year. So if your birthday's tomorrow, happy 3rd birthday. Even if you're, 30, 25, I don't know how it works, 12? Or 10th birthday at 40. So, or consider joining Tom's Army. Get that month 1 emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Like our friend here, George, or G-Berg Crypto, is in month 1 of Tom's Army with the XRP, or the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I kid you not, that's my face superimposed on there. So, I appreciate that show of support. Does this have anything to do with the German company that predicted XRP to $5 to $10 so it was dumped? Beta, I don't know. That's a heck of a question. 66 cent by leap day. Well, that's tomorrow. So we'll see. But I'm telling you, this is a hell of a liquidity grab now. It's just, from no uncertain terms that, a lot of, it's a lot of stuff here. It's a lot of stuff. So this was something that came out just literally moments before this happened. XRP price prediction, momentum reignites as bulls aim for 75 cents. And that would be the 6-year consolidating formation from all-time highs. As we know, we're in a 6-year consolidation since we had all-time highs. And that 75 cents is a key resistance. That is a make it or break it spot if you go up right now to that resistance to try to break that formation. XRP price is gaining pace above the 55 cent resistance. And again, we maintain that 55 cents besides a wick as of right now. The bulls seem to be aiming for a move above the 60 and 62 cent resistance levels. XRP started a fresh increase above the 55 cent resistance level. The price is now trading above the 57.5 and the 100 simple moving average. Right now it's at 56.4 after the little crash. That wasn't so little, but now looks little. There was a break above a major contracting triangle with resistance at 56 cents on the 4-hour chart of the XRP USD pair. Data source from Kraken. The pair could start a fresh rally if there's a close above the 60 cent resistance zone. In the past few days, XRP price recovered higher from the 53 cent zone. There was a move above the 54.5 and 55 cent resistance levels. However, the upside was less compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. There was a break above a major contracting triangle with resistance of 56 cents in the 4-hour chart of the XRP USD pair. The pair traded as high as 59.71 cents and it is currently consolidating gains. It tested the 23.6 fib retracement level of the upward move from the 52.9 cent swing low to the 59.71 high. As we know, it did that today. So that's interesting that we retested the 23.6 fib level and we held it. Ripple's tokens price is now trading about 57.5 cents in the 100 simple moving average 4 hourly. On the upside, it's just a little bit below that. It was about 56.6 cents. But these technicals are important from a Fibonacci and a technical standpoint. On the upside, immediate resistance is near the 58 cent resistance zone, which we're going to come up right now and try to retest, it appears. The first key resistance is near 60 cents, above which the price could rise toward the 62 cent resistance. A close above the 62 cent resistance zone could spark a strong increase. The next key resistance is near 65 cents if the bulls remain in action. Above the 65 cent resistance level, there could be a rally toward the 68.5 cent resistance. Any more gains might send the price toward the 70 cent resistance. And then if XRP fails to clear the 60 cent resistance zone, it could start another decline. Initial support on the downside is near the 575 zone. The next major support is 56.30 or the 50% Fibonacci retracement level of the upward move from the 52.90 swing low to 5971 high. If there's a downside break and a close below the 56.30 level, the price might accelerate lower. In the stated case, the price could retest the 53.50 support zone. And then if we go through the technical indicators real quick, and I see, yes, Luke, they are playing us like a damn fiddle. I agree with that. RD, the shakeout is absolutely real. Brickless says XRP has been suppressed for so long that if it doesn't hit $20 plus this bull run, you have to ask yourself, is it worth holding? Yes, of course it's worth holding. Maybe not for the whole time, but it's worth holding through cycles. That's why I say don't be tied to it from cycle to cycle. So, example, 2021 when I started on YouTube in March, we started buying it and we had a 47-cent average when it was all said and done, and we sold out at $1.66 because the cycle ended. And I said we would buy it back when it was the appropriate time. And we bought it back for the long hold at 34.6 cents after selling at $1.66. So to me, it sucked for the year, almost year and a half where I didn't hold it. But at the same time, I think that's a good plan to have. But you have to understand how to see when a bullish to bearish market cycle is happening. I did call in this community the Bitcoin bottom at 26,500, and I also called the top. So to be able to call the top and the bottom, it leaves you with a lot of room to work with. So that's how we were able to build what we've done in here. So if you're new, make sure you hit that like button so YouTube will recommend it to other people so that they can experience this as well. But also consider subscribing to the channel so you continue your journey here, because each day is a new day. But I'm here every day regardless, up, down, left, or right. I don't care. Whether I'm right or wrong, I sell what I think is going to happen. I'm not anybody else's word. You don't have to worry about paid promotions, paid advertisements, sponsorships, or me pushing off some product, because I don't do that. I just put this out. That's it. So the 4-hour MACD, the MACD, and if you're looking, pinned comment is BITUNIX for XRP users. If you can't find a way to trade XRP, or if you don't want to use a VPN or do a KYC to know your customer, you take advantage of that before that's not available anymore. Just saying it right now. That's where I trade at when it's in high times of volatility for XRP or for anything, and the exchange doesn't go down, at least to me yet. And it's been a while. And that was going through that 94% rises when I discovered BITUNIX, how durable it was. I should have been pushing it more. The MACD for XRP USD is now losing pace in the bullish zone in the 4-hour MACD. That's the moving average convergence diversion is the MACD. 4-hour RSI, the relative strength index. The RSI for XRP is now above the 60 level. Major support levels are 57.5. We were just above 56.3 cents when we were reading this. And then the low support is 53.5 cents. Major resistance is 59.5, 60 cents, and 62.5, which we have not been able to get past those resistance zones and hold. So that's a major areas to be watching as we continue to consolidate here. After a pretty remarkable drop there in a matter of minutes, we had the Ripple lawsuit, the SEC. We should probably talk about this real quick. The SEC requests deadline extension for filing briefs. So Ripple lawsuit, SEC requests deadline extension for filing briefs. SEC requests a 1-week extension for filing briefs in the Ripple lawsuit due to discovery resolution. The proposed extension will shift deadlines for opening opposition and reply briefs in the lawsuit. Ripple Labs reportedly consents to the extension request, but the court is yet to rule on SEC's proposal. We'll get into that more tonight on tonight's update live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we've only got so little time. We've got, maybe, I don't know how much longer left. We'll see how much longer I can talk. But we definitely are watching this to see how it shakes out. But again, Bitcoin now is over 61,300 again. So it begs the question, what is going on? Is that just a massive liquidity grab like it appears to be? And evermore, doesn't it feel good to be in spot accumulating? And as it happens, you just sit back and kind of say, Jesus, the manipulation is realer and realer by the day. What do you think, Julie? It's realer and realer by the day? So what I want to do with everybody, and I'm going to go grab it, I want to relax with everybody with some cannabis. So if it's legal where you're at, cannabis has been a beautiful thing for me since I broke my back when I was 23. It allows me not to be on pills and anything like that. So please, join me. We've got a lot to talk about. We're not done yet. We can kind of see the finish line, but we are not done yet. We're watching Bitcoin have its retracement back up. And we're also watching XRP dash the hopes and dreams of many that want to come aboard, but continue to be taunted by the manipulation that becomes even realer day by day as we go along. That big old gate will keep us down. Right, Julie? There
Right.
can only be one bagel gate.
Exactly.
No bagel gate is ever the same. See, but bagel gate taught us how to go about this time, right, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
Bagel gate taught us this rotation now. The audience is going to learn from this rotation because of bagel gate. Good old bagel gate. Okay. And as you can see in the background, it's never as real as days like today when it's stormy, the stormy background I have. It just it really is the epitome of crypto as we see it today. Julie, do you have a lighter?
I think it's in the back.
Ah, crap. But it's really never as real as you see today. Like on days like today where you have this up and down volatility, it's interesting. But to me, I still in my own head, I see what's happened. We see over the past couple days when it goes to Ripple, and then but their shares, you can start to build a little database here. We can't even do Ripple shares because everybody does the FUD of the buyback when you try to do it. But we'll go through this. Well, I'm going to deep dive into this more with how many different times we've had, not Ripple themselves more than likely, but maybe like the Great Fallings had a business partner or maybe somebody, who might have sold out for their own personal gain in this aspect. Not Ripple as an entity, but just the fact that I don't think there's any way to ignore the fact that there is definitely manipulation going on within the price. And it's not just XRP, believe me. The fact that crypto did what it did at the exact same time, it's the one thing I'll always say. The fact that everything can drop at the exact same time means that there's some kind of trading bot or something at the end of at the line. Because how is it possible that everything from Bitcoin all the way down the list dropped a good 10 to 12% at the exact same time while Bitcoin dropped, 7%? Unless somebody's doing it, it's not possible for all of a sudden every asset from XRP all the way through Cardano, all the way through, there's one big entity controlling it. Joe, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. She said it's called BlackRock, people. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I always pay attention to when BlackRock talks about a potential XRP ETF. In the same way a lot of people dismiss the Bitcoin talk, once BlackRock started talking about it, I was game. They start talking about it, I'm interested. And that's exactly what's starting to happen now with the XRP ETF. Yeah, True said it was so bad Coinbase threw their hands up for a minute. They sure did. They sure did. It's unbelievable. The Rev says, come on, dude, it's Ripple, Dark Horse, let the cat out of the bag. Ripple is totally manipulated. Hey, we don't know the exact entity, but I'm not saying it's not manipulated. I've never said it wasn't. So yes, come on, dude, because I believe you. I agree. I've said it for years. But within that manipulation, at some point, the gloves come off and we end up going somewhere. And the reason that remains, why are they manipulating the price in this fashion? Why do they pick moments in time where they will just let it run up to oblivion? You start to follow the money trail. I'm going to be curious as I do some research how many millions of XRP was bought up during that dump by whales. I don't know the exact number. I have to do the research. Hopefully I'll have some numbers for tonight's live at 6:30. But this live was a spur of the moment because, again, there's just crazy volatility. But I would like to know how much. I would like to know how much was bought up by Ripple whales on that drop and how much that was bought up was sold by retail. If anybody could come up with that, send it to strutrugali@gmail.com. strutrugali@gmail.com. I'll give you credit. But if you can come up with that, I would love to hear it. A lot more eyes than just my own with everybody who's in here right now. but I would love to see how much of retail got knocked out and how many whales picked up those tokens. That's what I'm curious about. It is interesting, isn't it, Crypto Scrooge? It is very interesting to me as well. Because they're looking for the deal, and if you ask yourself that, what was the reason for the liquidity grab today? What was the reason? Because right now, it appears it could be the start of another push. If Bitcoin does continue to push up, remember we talked about how this looked like it was setting up as a bull flag. Now it's starting to come up. We haven't had great volume coming in, but at some point this could come up and retest this 59-cent area, maybe even this 57.9. But that's a liquidity candle from hell right there. From every aspect of the game, whether you're a spot, leverage, whether you're looking to buy, whether you were thinking about holding, I guarantee you. How much of retail do you think got out there? Do you think it's over analyzing that 20% of the holders got out during some point of that 13% drop? Do you think that's fair? Or do you think that's too many? Based on the comments, that might not be many enough when I read through. How many people do you think sold out during that drop? No way? Yep, 13% is what I started with. That's your lucky number 2. Well, there you go. That might be why. Crypto Screw says a lot of retail got out there, brother. Batashi says no way. Xavier says I got out right when it hit 60. So, okay. So there's some people that got out of their positions right there. So that's the curiosity part for me. And what's your plan? Are you just done now? Or are you looking for another buyback in from the spot perspective? Now we know why the 400 million in XRP came out the other day. Exactly, the great falling. That's what I was talking about in the opening during my probably 5 to 7 minute as I was going on with my passionate, not plea, but just the passionate, what's going on here, is that 400 million definitely came out, and look how perfect timing it was, and look how quick we dropped. There's no coincidence. There's no coincidences. Xavier says, I'm now looking for shorts now, down to 35 cents. Interesting. True, my buy orders on the way down kept filling up on the bounce. See, that's what's always nice, too. If you're looking at it and you've got it mapped out and you know exactly where your line of sight is. A lot of people made out, too, if they're adding to their bags and they're continuing to accumulate their spot positions. Like, nothing changed on this drop. And you know what? Long or short, the leverage traders got destroyed today. Because it initially went up, then it went down, now it's going back up, now nobody knows what's going on. So now, you want to get liquidity, it's a good way to grab liquidity. We talk about it all the time. The best way to grab liquidity is grab those leverage traders that are on a hook. I've been a victim of it myself. The most famous one in past memory, we call it around here, me and Julie Bagelgate. Because everything was going good, and all of a sudden we went to eat a bagel, I came back, and not so well. You know, so like John said, Saint liquidation on leverage trade. Yeah, oh yes. So the stop loss, even stop losses, guys. On mine, on one of my cases I always speak of, I had a stop loss and it didn't trigger. It didn't trigger. When you read the fine print, the stop loss and high times of volatility, it's not guaranteed to work. You can read it in all the fine print on all the exchanges. And most of the time, like today, not everybody's is going to trigger high times of volatility. It absolutely was a scheduled dump. I believe that, OSW, 100%. I think because I've gotten destroyed so many times in the past, so now I set hard targets and don't negotiate and get the fuck out. Yup, Xavier, that's the best way to do it. Excellent comment, just like what I was showing yesterday. A lot of people wanted me to stay in, and I got out, even though it didn't hit the top yet, because you see it. You just don't know when this is going to happen. I've just been hit, like I said, Bagelgate. It's the reason why I can do what I do a little bit better. But by no means, you won't ever hear me talk about a leverage trade in my own position for a long time. because I know how quickly it can go. So now it's on to, and plus for me, I don't like the leverage trade as an influencer, because then if I'm going long, it influences my decision. If I'm going short, it'll influence my decision. If I do it straight, doing it with my spot positions and teach everybody how to do it and teach good fundamentals, then we can do it together. Like right now, we're doing it together. No, across the board, they all dumped. I know Cardano and XRP will look like it because they're red, but let's be fair, everything dumped across the board, including Bitcoin, went from 64,300 to 50. It was down 6,000 in a matter of minutes. But yeah, XRP, unfortunately, every time it seems to pump, something always goes wrong. And we've talked about it for the last couple days. I even have done updates in an exorbitant amount, I feel like, talking about how 400 million here, 40 million there, 60 million here. But the Ripple one was the one that caught us off guard because we know escrow doesn't start. And now, the other thing is, think about this. Here's the other thing. If your exchange went down and you were in a leverage trade, just consider this. You might have had every intention to go on and sell out when it got to a point, and it might not have allowed you to go on. So you had no way of selling, and you were on the hook, even though you could have got out during the drop. So there's another predicament there too. Or your stop loss doesn't activate because the exchange is locked up. Very big opportunity there that might have happened to a lot on Coinbase. And if you think this is by design, by mistake and not by design, I think a lot of people have another thing coming. Probably one of my greatest rewards and greatest heartaches is trading crypto, because you can do everything right and I can watch the person next to me fall out just because of a weak moment. So I'll continue to push the way we build this portfolio right. And if it forces us out at the end of a run, we will get out. I fear right now, for everybody who's here, and I want to know what everybody thinks. We have, and this is, wow, 230. I did not know we were going to have, I'm going to be honest, thought it was going to be a little slower in here today because of the drop. Like I said, a lot of people don't like to show up when we're dropping. They feel like it's an indictment that they're doing something wrong. I digress. I don't think we've done anything wrong. We just got to stay good or bad. That's how we were able to call the top in 21. We were realistic with ourselves. So my question to everybody right now, exactly, the Great Fawn, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm coming on here, to be the voice of reason. No panic. No panic. You should. That's why I said, if you're in the USA and you haven't bought XRP yet and you don't know how, BITUNIX. It's pinned in the comments for a reason. No spot fee, or no KYC or VPN. So you can at least get to it. And it's not just XRP, it's everywhere for the US. And around the globe even. But for USA users, it's an option. This is a good time to be buying as well if you haven't bought in or you're trying to expand. But this is where the mind you know what comes into play. This is where the market manipulators keep you from coming back. And I get passionate at moments like this because I don't want somebody to go goodbye, okay? I don't want you to lose your passion and be done with it because of a stupid drop like today, where in all reality, instead of doing what it did, it could have just went from 56 to 52 to 59 to 55 to 58 to 54, back up to 66 to 60, instead of doing a massive liquidity tug where it pretty much hampered anybody who was trying to get into a position, or they were like, I don't know if I should stay in my position. Wow, Sam, thank you so much for the 49. Wow. On a day like today, I can't even believe anybody's donating today. I honest, $49.99. Thanks for the info, Tom. I got out of my long at 60. Thanks to you. Good job, my friend, and thank you for paying it forward. I like to hear the good news. I like to hear the good news. But I want to hear somebody. I want to hear from everybody who's here. What do you think of the theory right now that we could have a historical style crash just like in 21 in April? And hear me out. Back in 21, we had a massive rally in 2021, and the catalyst for the big dump ended up being quantitative tightening by the government, we can all say. They stopped pouring into the markets. All that pandemic relief dried up. There was no more embellishment into the markets, but mainly they went from quantitative easing to tightening. Crypto got hit the hardest. Now, we have the Bitcoin halving, or however the hell you say it. That's also in April of this year, 3 years to the day, or at least to the month. Do we think we're going to have a massive buildup until April as Bitcoin, to me, it's up to 61,000, got to 64,000 some change earlier. Its eyes is on the prize at 69,000. If you don't think it is, I don't think we're watching the same manipulated market here. It always happens around tax time as well. Always. There can't be no... There's something about this that does not add up. But is it going to be a catastrophic collapse like we once had? Or is this where you would have the optics of the biggest collapse in history just for it to take off for Bitcoin to 100K? There's a little proof in the pudding right now that Bitcoin's at 61K and the altcoins are only getting 45% of the share. There's a proof that Bitcoin last time it was at 61,000, XRP was close to $1.98. Or $1.66. There's an argument to be made that how is Ethereum up? Where the hell's Ethereum? At 3,300 and XRP's at 56 cents. See where we're going with this. The ones that are government controlled right now, Ethereum, Bitcoin, are being used to push money in massive amounts. XRP, which is going to be used as a stable coin, in my opinion, and I've been saying it since 21, and World Bank just came out a few short weeks ago and said the same thing. Is it any surprise that this could be the largest case study in history in front of our very eyes of how it's stable price? What better way than them to say, hey, we could put it at 10, 20, 50, $100 and never move it and still have the same inflow and outflow? That's what I'm saying. It's no different than a stable coin right now. And another thing I was noticing until it came unglued, for every 1,000 Bitcoin was at, for a while, Bitcoin was at 58,000, XRP was at 58 cents. Bitcoin got to 60,000, XRP was around 60 cents. Then all of a sudden it got out of whack when it went to 64.3 and XRP just came unhinged. But for a while it was all targeting like, hey, we're mimicking Bitcoin just in the sense, in the stable fashion, like, hey, Bitcoin's at 50,000, XRP will be at 50 cents on this move. And it was weird. And it's happened the whole way up. But now, obviously, that theory has gone out the window because look what's happened. Huge dump coming. It's going to hit all-time highs. Matt, that's what I'm thinking. If they push everything up here, because for them to have that big of a drop, as you've seen today, could have been a nice example, you need to get a little bit of buzz. So if everybody's buying in and then they drop the hammer, there's so much liquidity to go around. That's why we've got to be honest with ourselves here. Even after today's drop, our portfolio started at 7,000. It's over 14. The first time around at the height of the bull market, it only got up to 18. We barely even moved. XRP sure as hell has done diddly squat compared to most. What are we up, 60%? So we got to be honest here. Like, where is a moment where, like, where's it going to hit the brick wall? We got to find a moment where alt season, because I remember a time in 22, everybody told me alt season was right around the corner when I liquidated everything and stayed liquidated. And altcoin, they swore it was right around the corner. And then we ended up proceeding to dump 75 to 80% from the already big dump. So nothing surprises me, but what I will say, I would be stunned and I would be shocked if Bitcoin didn't come after all-time highs here. But would I be surprised if there was a dip here before another push up? No, I would not. And the only reason I say that is because, well, no, I would be a little surprised because it is forming what looks like a little bit of a, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but it is trying to form a little bit of a bull flag here. I mean, if that's not the biggest slap in the face to somebody who just got hammered, I don't know what is. The fact that, here's the biggest pain, ready? So let's say you got in at, say you were doing good. You got in a leverage trade at 585. All of a sudden, you're on a 10x trade. It comes up to, you're up 29%. You're up 29%, 30% here at 602. Go to take a piss. Go to take a shower. You go up to the store real quick. Like, all right, I got some room. All of a sudden, when you're in the car driving, you can't look at the chart. It comes down on you 10.2%. You still have no idea. You're still in the store. Now all of a sudden you're shopping and you see it at 56. What the hell happened? Well, I'm on a 10x trade. I've still got plenty of liquidation room. And you go look and you're like, what the? Where's my position? And you look and you're like, that one lick for 1 minute liquidated my position, and now I'm barely even down 2 minutes later. And that one moment right there, a person comes to the crossroads. You're either done with crypto on the spot, or you have a harsh look into reality. Hold on, my door. Somebody's at my door. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm doing a live right now. I'm doing my work. No, it's okay. I'm assuming about the car. Do you have your card again? While you're here? I'm sorry. I got 200 and something people I'm talking to right now. Yes, please do. I'll give you a call back. I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. Somebody was at my door. I don't really like Julie to answer the door when I don't know who it is, so I'm not going to call out for her, even though it's during the day. You never know. You never know. That's the classic style time. It sure is. It sure is. You're suggesting on how to start the leverage on BITUNIX my first time, not planning on doing a big move, but what would you think is a good... If you're trying to get used to it, and you're on BITUNIX, here's the cool thing. If you click on the link that I shared, it's going to tie you to me if I ever do copy trading or anything like that. And I've considered it in the past just to keep everybody on the same page, but it's not going to happen during the volatile moments, I'll tell you that. It's going to happen during a nice accumulation zone, but I would suggest for you, and I know it's going to sound crazy, start at a 2x or 3x. Start understanding the market at a 2 to 3 times what it normally does in spot, and then it allows you to be that much more of a sniper in spot. Because once you get used to the volatility of a leverage style trade, spot trading does not seem as hard. A 15% move like today doesn't even feel like anything. Because the reality is when you're in a spot or a leverage trade of 10x or more, most times even when you make profit, you are down 10 to 15% at some point, no matter what. It's out of your control. And for the ones leverage trading that would disagree, well, they're in a different class than I am. So anyhow, that would be my suggestion. Very small leverage so that you can control it. But let me tell you, on today's, anything over like a 4x, even at 4x, I'm pretty sure you were liquidated at 4x today. Depending on exchange, maybe 5x. 5x for sure you were done. Done. MC Prosperity said, I first got into XRP at 51 in September 22. Then it dropped to 32 cents, so a 5-cent drop doesn't faze me in the least. That when I was heavy, I'm actually buying them 33s dips. Don't FOMO in. Yes, sir. And like you said, don't FOMO in. So now you're still focused at those levels now. So now it's just the up and down volatility. And like I said, not being in a leverage position and being in spot, you've got it by you've got it by what I like to call the grotesques. Let me grab my lighter. I'm having a fantastic time with everybody. Please, and I would say make sure to hit that like button, but we already have more likes than people watching. I just want to thank everybody who tuned in during this volatile drop. And it's the ones who are tuning in now that when we are having a rally that you're going to want to talk to. The ones who have the audacity and the capacity to be able to watch this on a drop like today, be honest with themselves and say, we don't know everything. Like, I don't know everything. I know the formations. But to know, besides the information on the chart from November of 21, why you can't have enough formation set up. That's the only predictor we had that was even a possibility. Let's be honest. In November of 21, that chart that we just pulled out 3 days ago predicted this drop. Because that was the uptrending support. It told us it could come down to that area. Also, we talked about, let's be honest though, we talked about the fib retracement level at 23.6% when it was at 52.1, and as it moved up to 52.5, and we talked about that as a back test spot. So we are not surprised. We're just very disappointed with the fashion that Ripple, aka the manipulators, whoever are doing it, in the fashion they decided to do this on the holders today. That's all I'm saying. There's a right way and a fair way. Today was very unfair, even from a spot perspective, from somebody who might have been cycling in over the last day and a half, thinking that they're doing something good. So I'll be right back because I definitely need to take it down a bit. People are asking about all right, sorry about that, everybody. I'm back. I'm sorry, but at least you got to see the storm in the background. Mike, welcome in and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Always fantastic when Mike is in the house. Thank you, Mr. Stevenson, for tuning in, even on these crazy, crazy days. As Matt says, scared money don't make no money. It sure doesn't. It sure doesn't, but scared trading can lose you a lot. You got to be comfortable and confident in what we're trying to do here. I mean, look at it, guys. Bitcoin's up 7.6%. It's up 4,300. Sometimes being in a spot position is a real nice place to be. For me personally, yesterday was a lot more stressful because I was trying to show everybody the proper fundamentals, and we did a good job, but being impartial, even though I'm in spot, but being able to see it on a real trajectory doesn't get any better than being here with all my friends either. I didn't expect to have all my friends here today doing all of this, so I do appreciate everybody that's tuning in. I know some people leave when I have to walk away, but it is what it is. So XRP, manipulated, yes, no, maybe so. We believe it is. But at the same time, you should not be afraid right now. You should not be afraid of XRP right now. In fact, you should be encouraged. We always talk about having to have big liquidity grabs before further moves up. And the historical charts of XRP is riddled with moves just like this before the next move up, where it literally takes out anybody from up here to down here. Anybody who might be a naysayer will keep them out, or anybody who's on the fence about continuing to hold their XRP, it'll get them out. That's why they don't call it a great shakeout for no reason. Now the question is, do we continue down? And we're going to figure out those targets right now. So, and yes, this is absolutely regular, like True is saying. I almost argue that we could be forming a bull flag here. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. But let's be honest. Could this be a bull flag here playing out? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I think we're going back. We're probably going back up. And then that'll really piss anybody off who got liquidated or who got out of their XRP. More precisely, forget about the liquidated, but anybody who sold their XRP, I don't think this is the time. I don't think this is the time or the place. If you told me today, let me ask you a question yesterday. If you told me when XRP was at 58 cents yesterday that you were going to sell XRP today and Bitcoin's up 4,100 points, or up 7% right now, and it's trading at 61,100, you would have put my head through the wall and said, are you out of your mind? If I would have said Bitcoin was up 7.14% or up 4,000 points and is trading above 61,000, and I said XRP is down 3.5%, you would have said, I am not surprised. That's the negative connotation I'm talking about. And if I told you Doge was up 20% in that same time period, had a run of 20% while XRP only had a run of 3, you'd have said, of course it did. And there's no excuse because its circulating supply is just as high, if not higher, than XRP's. If I told you today that XDC was the best performer out of XRP and XLM in that drop, you would have said, well, that's good to know because that's what I bought yesterday on your advice out of the three. Know where you're buying them at. So, but to me, it's just, it becomes this ebb and flow, back and forth, kick to the grotesques of the technical trader or the retail trader, especially the long holder, the accumulator. They actually get, you know what I think for me personally when I watch this, because it used to phase me when I would trade, you know, if I see it go up 7 or 10% in my portfolio or up and down, because it's not money that I don't even care. Some days it'll say, up until the last couple of weeks, it was saying 12, 13,000. Yesterday it peaked at 15. Now it's back in the 14 somewhere. I don't really care. You know, when it started, it was at 7, then 8, then 9, then 6, or not 6, like a number came down actually. But you get the picture. These moves, right? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Juan said yesterday, I did load on XDC as well. Me too. I had 27,000 tokens, 27,777 tokens at 2.8 cents. XDC went down to 396. It wasn't that big of a drop from where it's at now, but it was about 40%, 38 to 40% from the swing high that it had around 6 cents. Maybe it was a tad bit higher than 6 cents when it started coming back down. And I said if it ever got below 4 cents, I was building up to 40,000. And I ended up buying 12,300 and some change tokens more at 0.03968, I think it was. We'll just call it 3967, fuck it. So that's where I bought more at. So I kept telling everybody my average is like 3.4. When I looked yesterday, it's still right around 3.2, 3.1. So I don't know what I was talking about. But anyhow, that's not the point. The point is I thought it was a fair price to buy, or a fair area basing on what XDC's been doing. And again, XDC, for all intents and purposes, did it do anything other than continue its consolidation? Nope. Could even be putting in an inverted right arm here if we're not mistaken. We don't know. But we're in this descending triangle, but we're in the expansion zone, I like to call it, which makes it an interesting opportunity because the expansion zones are typically when it's gotten rid of this long consolidation where it goes to support and upper resistance, and then it starts to have a contracted zone. This is typically where it'll break out at, on a pattern that's typically meant to be a bullish reversal at the bottom. And this has been going on for a while with XDC. And if one could argue that it's a gigantic bull flag, they could argue, I would say maybe a descending triangle, contracting triangle, whatever you want to, I don't care. So that's why I think that'll have an impact. Same thing with XLM. Look at the candle. If you just look at this in the daily sense, you're looking at this like, hey, that's not too bad. That's kind of like an inverted, that could be forming an inverted hammer candle here. This actually might not be too bad. I know we came down, but let's see if we can push some pressure and get back over 12.35 and call it a day. Got a little bit of room here to go, but it's not that far out of the ordinary here. It's going to be defined by tomorrow's candle now, but I mean, just the way it did it, it's just one of those things. So I wanted to come on. I wanted to make sure everybody had the proper mindset here. I wanted to make sure we all understood why this happened. Ooh, Flare's pumping for us again. That's good news. Flare's up 4.1% here on the day. As you know, we bought Flare at 0072, so we're sitting pretty on Flare. Gala's down 10% today, but it was up 28, 30%. That's what I mean. XRP was the one that you can really point to that did not have any kind of 25 to 30% swing in one solo day. Outside of XLM and XDC, pretty much every other one that we own had that day. Hell, even Doge had that day today. So there's a lot of fear and FUD out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take a strong, strong mind to push through this market now. It's going to take a strong, strong mindset and character to be able to push through and not listen to the naysayers. You're going to get a lot of ridicule from people about, oh, XRP is the biggest trash pile, you know what, known to man. Look at Doge up 17% again. That's when some people talk. That's what they'll say. Oh, even look at those. The Dogecoin. And XRP is down 3.3%. Despite all this buildup, despite all of the momentum that seemingly was being built up, and it's not lost, that liquidity to me makes it even stronger chance we're going to pump. We need liquidity, folks. See? Sergio says everybody's pumping by XRP. And that's not untrue because we've watched individually each and every token pumping. But what do we always say? Especially if there's going to be a big surge, big reversal, XRP is typically the one to do it last. Yep, Dr. Pat Riot says, let them hate, we will get the last lap. 100%. It's also the reason I come on right now, so you know it's okay. You can show your face. Look, let's be honest here. For the new ones, we've got over 200 people here right now. Still, as we're ending this, I know you guys can tell. We're just having a nice little chat on the way out. But my hair, I told the audience, I would not cut it until XRP hit $1. 8 months complete. It's been 8 months now. I also said I wouldn't cut my goatee, but I have the right to be reserved until we get the all-time highs for me to cut my hair. But Julie was on board either way. It's getting a little long now, wouldn't we say? So just hold it to solace. How long has it been for XRP? Even my dad, when my aunt, his sister, passed away, he's like, do you think it's time to get a haircut last month? And I said, Dad, Auntie Ann would understand. Rest in peace, Auntie Ann. But this is part of my, this is part of what's going on right now. And it's a very important thing that we're doing. And I told my dad, if I cut my hair, I don't know if it's going to come back, Dad. Because if I take after my dad, I mean, I'm 40 now. He was already balding. But I'm lucky right now. So if I cut it, who knows? There might not be anything left. So if you are watching right now, please hit that like button for YouTube recommendations so we can continue to grow the audience. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as we just went over 20,400 subscribers today, which is awesome. Again, if you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, but I say XRP because it's what we do in here, but it's a hard one to buy.